the information that we were briefed on. Is there anything you would like to say at this point, Deputy Mayor, before we hand over to staff?
Probably that we've got a lot on as a council, and of the topics that we have on the go at the moment, this is probably in magnitude our most significant project. It's one that is going to occupy a huge amount of time, both at council level and with staff, and it's very important that we're all very clear on what is taking place. I think it's probably fair to say that there hasn't been a huge amount of change since we met with you a couple of weeks ago and went through things. But this is, I think, a reflection very much on the need to, at this stage, make the decision and confirm what we have previously discussed and looked at. But also, it's the intent of keeping you absolutely up to date with every move that is taking place in regard to this. The future of our rating base for this council is so influenced by the decisions within this water area. And there's a number of things that are very influential in us being able to achieve our objectives in regard to where we want to be able to get to within rating. We've had public submissions today on the issue, and you could hear the amount of work and effort that have been going in regard to the detail that sat in behind those. My read of our community is that they are following this with much interest, and it's important that we all become subject matter experts in regard to it. So please absorb it. Take up the point that I've mentioned on many occasions, that I'm always available for any questions or concerns or thoughts or ideas that people have. And again, my appreciation to staff for the effort that they are putting in behind the scenes. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear from staff.
Yeah, Morena, Mayor Revel and councillors. Thank you for the opportunity to present this report, and I would echo Mayor Revel's comments. This report basically captures the discussions that we've already had previously regarding this 3 weeks ago, and it captures it in full detail. I will quickly go through the purpose of this report, and then we're happy to take the report as read and answer any questions. So the purpose of the report, as I said the upfront, is to reconfirm the existing approach for TCDC in terms of implementing local water done well. So this was a decision that was taken by the previous council and adopted by and approved by DIA. So we've received a letter for an in-house business unit. We will continue to explore the sub-regional water service organisation option with Western Bay and Tauranga City Council. The report also asked to approve the updated terms of reference for the local water done well working group. We are also seeking an approval for a reduction of the budget because we are no longer proceeding with the options we had earlier, so we could do it with less money. And also to minimize sunk costs. So in terms of delivering an internal business unit. Ian, what in
Kia ora through you, Your Worship. So really that cost reduction or budget reduction for this year, so we originally anticipated we would try and get a crime facilitator in to try and move things forward for the discussion with TCC and Western Bay. That didn't eventuate, so that's been one of the main reasons that we've been able to reduce the budget for this financial year.
Thank you. Councillor Rasmussen.
Mo, thank you very much for the briefing document. It's very thorough. I'm referring to page 90, sub 1.8, Roma 2. And then I draw your attention to page 97 in your report, in the board pack. Page 97 in the board pack, second paragraph from the top, and I quote, TCC and Western Bay CDC are progressing at pace with their due diligence, and governance has been agreed with 5 elected members from each council and 5 iwi hapu representatives. To me, that's a co-governance overt statement. And I don't believe, one, that has been discussed with the public or consulted on in the past. What has been consulted on was the fact that we wanted economies of scale. I'm very supportive of that, but I'm raising the elected members' attention to that specific paragraph, because that would require significant consultation with the public if we're going down that path, as opposed to a WSO that does not have that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Brillovich?
I concur with Fleming's comments. It's a little bit ambiguous the way it's worded, whether it's 5 elected members from each council and 5 hapu iwi representatives from each council, or whether it's 5 in total. However, it is a co-governance model. And in the situation we have there, there's a bit of an arm wrestle going on. Because to me, this paper's saying we're going to tread water until we get allowed into this water services organisation. The reason we're not there now is because of the Tauranga Moana issue, where the iwi there view Hauraki is coming into their turf, and there's an arm wrestle going on. If we have iwi representatives on council side, then that may totally diminish any chance of getting in there.
I please ask another question?
Sure.
Just to fully understand what it is that we're talking about, because the paragraph to which Member Rasmussen refers is what TCC, Tauranga City Council, and Western Bay of Plenty District Council are doing. And so I'm not too sure that we should be having a discussion about how they would like to have their representation or who they have on their committees. I don't know that it's appropriate for us to be having this discussion.
So I think, so my reading is that what has been highlighted is that we are continuing to explore a sub-regional water services organisation with Tauranga and Western Bay. That there is, and what Tauranga and Western Bay are doing is they're setting up their whole governance team, etc., of which we are not part of and we're not involved with, right? They are doing that.
Yes.
So I think the point that I heard was that at the point that we end up potentially being part of that, that it will require consultation. That's the point I'm hearing. Councillor Grant?
Yeah, look, I'd go further than that. I'd say that at this stage, we are not part of this, so we have no say in what the structure of the governance is, and we should not be commenting on that in this forum at the moment. The opportunity to do that would be if we are invited to come in, and then we can have a look through that process and make our decisions based on that information at that time. So I don't think that this is an appropriate conversation in this forum at this stage.
Councillor Rasmussen?
Well, I respectfully disagree, because on page 90, it says the purpose of this report is to. Then it follows through with one recommendation, point A, Roma 1, and it follows through with a secondary commendation, Roma 2. And if it's not appropriate, if it is not relevant, then I suggest that Roma 2 as a point should not be there. It is simply a point that would have to be considered if and when that arises in the future. But it is in the report already. So I believe it's highly relevant and prudent to discuss it.
Okay, Councillor Brillovich?
Well, how they structure their governance is none of our business, right? It's up to them. But if we're looking at hopping into bed in this relationship, we need to know exactly what we're hopping in with.
Yep.
And how much money are we going to spend going down an avenue that I think that our ratepayers will say, no, co-governance is 3 waters. We're not doing that. And that's where I'm feeling this is going. So I don't want to see good money thrown at this when I believe we have very little chance of getting involved.
Thank you for the comment. Any other questions? Councillor Hampton.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to respond to Councillor Brilovich and Rasmussen's concerns. At this point in time, we are investigating and not committing to. And I think to continue to investigate is absolutely appropriate at this point in time, particularly given the substantial savings that this potential model will deliver for the ratepayers in this district. So I am certainly happy with the recommendations of the report to continue to investigate that WSO option. Thank you.
Councillor Rodley.
I don't think our obligations that we have to engage with iwi and involve iwi in our decision making is capped by a monetary figure.
Thank you. Councillor Rasmussen.
So I concur with what Councillor Hampton has said. However, the wording is continue exploring. The exploration in this case is in the singular, one option only, as opposed to, just by way of example, all avenues available for council. So that does indicate, one, a predetermination of, yes, we are going ahead with the DIA approved plan as approved with the internally ring fenced, but we are exploring, and at this point in time in the singular, only one other one. I would encourage that subcommittee to have a much wider, much more open, broad initiative. And that's where I think the report just needs to be arrested. I'm in favour of, economies of scale.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep, I actually support that comment, and I would like to see perhaps a change so that the second point on here, continue exploring external opportunities for a WSO and include the WSO with Tauranga and in that statement so that we cover both of those fields. I think the world is changing at a reasonably quick pace at the moment around the place with councils and regional councils, and we should keep a very open mind to all the wider opportunities that come along should this one continue to be closed. Can I also make a point in regard to the comments about throwing away money of the ratepayer? We've come to you in this particular case with a reduced budget, and the budget is not a large one for the potential opportunities that come from us in regard to the scale efficiencies that this will bring and the benefits to our ratepayers long term. I would not personally want to be going out there with a comment to say that we are not exploring cost-saving opportunities. I think that would be very counterintuitive.
Chief Executive.
Yeah. So just wanted to, so I guess there's a question of how much we're doing, how fast. So I guess this resolution, we see this as sort of asserting our position from the previous council into this one, and this is a short-term, time-bound kind of way of managing how much staff resource we have. So I'm just suggesting an amendment to that point, the Roman numeral 2, to say that we're going to continue doing that while remaining open to other options, because as far as we know, the two options that we've looked at are not open to us for a period of time. So there's no point being actively working in that area right now. But unless something changes, then we'd be ready just to jump in and be part of something that we currently don't envisage.
Absolutely happy with that.
And if it was something like including but not limited to, and if Councillor Grant was to move that, then I would be happy to second that.
I'm happy to move with the recommendation of the Chief Executive for the words that were provided. So I think it was just adding, continue exploring a sub-regional water services organisation, et cetera, and any other opportunities that should be presented or something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm just, sorry.
Just a moment. Councillor Smith.
I had actually made notes on this point too, which is exactly along the lines of what the Chief Executive has proposed. So I do have some wording if it's helpful, but not wanting to overread the pudding.
You.
I think we just had a point on page 91, 3.5, which says last sentence, no other sub-regional partnership will be explored at this time. I think it'd be worthwhile just removing those words just
Right.
in case anything else does come along.
Yeah, agreed.
Replacing with remain open to other options.
That's also a good signal to other people that might be looking at us, wondering if we're open. So that's actually quite useful.
Right. Councillor Smith.
Sorry, yeah, I had while retaining awareness of other previously assessed sub-regional options should circumstances change.
Okay. Can we have a look at that on the screen, please? So we're looking at the recommendations on page 91, which you now see on the screen in front of you. So we have a mover. Do we?
Happy to move.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Smith.
Through the chair, could I
Just a moment. Okay, so moved by Deputy Mayor Grant and seconded by Councillor Smith. Okay, thank you. Discussion, Councillor Hampton.
I just wonder whether we should be a little more targeted with that amendment to the resolution and remain open to other WSO options, which is the alternative to being in-house.
Right.
Business unit.
You okay to add WSO in there after the word other?
I just wondered why we want to limit ourselves, because we are talking about WSO. So, yeah, I think it's pedantic, really, but it probably spells it out clearly.
Okay. So WSO, Councillor Brilovich.
Through the chair, on page 92, on the fourth paragraph, there's two options. The second option, regional/sub-regional asset owning water organisations. So I have real concerns about signing our assets over. I would never support an option where we gave away our assets. So I'm just flagging that.
Point of clarification, we're not deciding on anything to do with that at this meeting at this time.
Thank you. Any other comments? Council, not council or anything. Mr. Morton.
Can I just, through you, Your Worship, just confirm? So just the rationale for putting that caveat in there about no other sub-regional was just being extremely clear that from a staff budgeting point of view, we've reduced the budget down because we're not actively pursuing other partnership opportunities. So I just want to be clear that if other opportunities come to us, that's great, but we're just not actively pursuing the other options at the moment. And that reflects the budget reduction that we put into the report.
Excellent. Thank you. Right, there being no further discussion, I propose to put the motion. The motion is there, numbers 1 to 7 is on the screen. So I'll put the motion. All those in favour, say aye. Aye. Contrary? There being none, carried. You're contrary? Okay. Want that recorded? Yes, thank you. Right. One you've all been waiting for, item 3.1. Thank you, staff. Item 3.1 is my mayoral report. I'll just take that as read. If I were to be offering any narrative around it, I think we need to be aware of the need for us to make sure that our profile in this region and our profile in our country is as high as it can possibly be at a time of change. That we do not want to be the baby that gets thrown out with the bathwater, that we actually want to ensure that we are seen as a very important, a unique, and a very valuable district to the country and to our region. And that's highlighted in the section at the end of the report. So I'd just like to move that the Thames Coromandel District Council receives the mayoral report dated the 3rd of December 25. Do I have a seconder?
Happy to second.
Councillor Rasmussen. Is there any further discussion?
Can I just add to your comments that I think that, we have started batting at the level that we should be in regard to the opportunity to promote this area, and we should continue to do so. And I think that goes straight back into our communication areas and the communication portfolio around how we can continue to take advantage of every single opportunity that we can, and particularly over this very busy period when people are coming in to join us. So absolutely endorse your comments.
Thank you. And being Deputy Chair of the Civil Defence, Waikato Civil Defence, is all something that adds to that. Thank you very much. Right, there being no Councillor Hampton.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wish to ask a question around the final paragraph on page 106 regarding providing feedback on the government initiatives, and if I've missed something, forgive me, but a plan around and dates around how we intend to inform that feedback on the government initiatives. With the...
Could I ask you to respond to that?
Sorry, which paragraph?
So the
getting feedback in the time frame is going to be really challenging. We've got a whole bunch of things in front of us right now, and we're barely getting enough time to gather our own thoughts, let alone the thoughts of others, and processing any incoming information. One thing we have looked at is potentially using our quarterly survey to ask the community questions, because what we'll get then is a representative sample of feedback. The challenge with it is it's probably the current survey is out already at the moment, and so we've missed the current survey, and the next one won't be till March. So by then all the submissions will have closed. So other than getting feedback from yourselves, from community, we do have some places where people can give us unprompted feedback via our various, channels. But in terms of doing anything comprehensive, that's actually going to be quite challenging.
And could I just add to that? So staff will certainly be preparing information for us to review in due course, and are working on that as we speak. this week, I have had a number of corridor conversations about how we can more effectively, or how we can effectively engage with the community to get that sort of feedback. That's still work in progress, if you like, but we will seek to have the feedback directly through community boards and from the public. Councillor Wadley.
So just specifically about the RM reform, there was a LGNZ hui done by Arcona on the 12th of December. Had some extremely good, two very good presenters about that. That there was just sort of two key points relating to making submissions. Basically, what I wrote down here was prioritise and focus on a few key issues. So the speakers said that the government wasn't looking for submissions saying, no, actually, we want to rewrite it this way. They're basically saying, find your top 3 or 4 issues and prioritise and really focus on those. And LGNZ has been working with the government to help assist with them. So, yeah, I just sort of want to make it clear that elected members might not always see it, but in the background, LGNZ are doing a lot working with the government and have been working with them the whole way through. They're not just sitting back and criticising. So, yes, that was what I got from this hui. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we get a mover and a seconder?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll now put the motion that Thames Coromandel District Council, have we voted on this? Receives the Mayoral Report dated the 3rd of December 2025. All those in favour say aye. Against? Carried. Now move to item 3.2, report to exclude the public.
Happy to move to public. Exclude.
Seconded by Councillor Hampton. We'll move into public excluded. Those in favour say aye. Against? Carried. We'll now just wait until we are in public excluded.